Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to take a look here, of course, at XRP, help you understand best practice and big picture. And it's kind of funny, I was just talking with one of my admins here recently about the channel, and I was kind of joking around about maybe renaming it tentatively to Crypto Cash, just to kind of see if that would take off. Anyways, disregard that. I'm crippled right now, in case you're not familiar with the channel. And if you are new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor, just a left-handed guy in a right-handed world. And at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at XRP, help you understand best practice, obviously the big picture, but what we want to look at is why the price action is doing what it's doing today. Basically just revisiting what I talked about yesterday, because there were some specific indications kind of giving us an inclination as to what it's going to do. Our community has taken massive profits on XRP here recently. I mean, take a look at this here. First of all, when I sent out my video yesterday, Pendejo, which is an awesome name, by the way, he's 30x shorted XRP down to, look at that, 0.508. That's a Fibonacci retracement level. Then, of course, he was able to proceed to take a long position, if I recall correctly. Yep, another 30x from 0.517 to 0.523. So again, nice, tight, safe trade. Obviously could have got greedy and got more out of it, but that's the important thing, is to help understand that the market isn't perfect. You got to get in and get out when you can. Take your profits while you obviously have the opportunity. So again, just some cool stuff there as well. And the last thing I want to kind of highlight here too before we move on is just our Crypto Cash Community Member of the Week. I want to just kind of touch on how awesome and amazing Zach Q is. Take a look at this here. Like, he is absolutely crushing it. He's shorting Bitcoin like a champ, and of course, taking some massive profits. So again, awesome stuff there, using Bitget Exchange as well, which, in case you didn't know, I do offer basically a discount because I'm affiliated with them. They effectively allow for you to receive a USDT bonus if you were to transfer over funds and use the exchange. So as long as you use the link in the description below before November 30th, you'd be subject to that. And if you have any questions on that, go ahead and let me know. But Bitget is the best exchange I've ever used, and I can tell you it's super fast, super quick, and you can get in and out of trades quickly. My day traders love it, and it's a really awesome situation there. All right, so let's take a quick look here at XRP. Thank you for dealing with that intro there. I just like to make sure that we touch on, we got to focus on the positive, right? Because sometimes trading can be kind of crappy sometimes. I mean, there's some days that you're going to have that are kind of rough. But the key, I think, is to focus on the positive and make sure that we learn from our mistakes, right? So if you are making mistakes, write them down, address it, and make sure that you don't just continue to do the same thing over and over again. All right, so here's where we're at for the daily. Let's just go ahead and start with standard analysis, and then I'll go ahead and jump into why it did what it did here today. And what we're looking at, of course, again, a little bit of a resistance level there at about 52 cents. It's tentatively breaking above that for now, but the key indicator here is at 0.508, basically 50.8 cents, was a very important retracement level. That's basically 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level, and that is essentially establishing itself as a support level now, because it was a previous resistance, as I mentioned yesterday, and in turn it was retested today as the bottom to complete that potential cup and handle pattern. I'll show you more again when we're a little bit shorter time frame, but generally speaking, that's what we're looking at for right now. 0.508, basically 50.8 cents, is holding as a support level for now. We also have a support range, if you will, too, between 50.8 cents and, of course, 52 cents. So I was hoping to see some consolidation during that area, which it did, and then it came down to bounce off 50.8 cents and increase. So awesome stuff here for XRP in that regard. Let's see what else is awesome. RSI being really close to 70, that is holding the price action in place. But keep in mind here, with us retesting this level twice, right there at about 53.5, there's a great chance we could see that breakout. Now, is it going to shoot through there? Potentially. XRP has that. It's one of the only coins right now that has the potential of really just blasting through specific resistance levels. So I wouldn't be surprised. But traditionally speaking, 70 on the RSI works as a resistance, and it should hold the price action in place. Or the price retraces a little bit to 52 cents, just say, for example, and bounces again once the RSI gets closer to 50. But again, on the daily, RSI at 70, it's not a terrible thing. It's just kind of a, do we have other factors complementing it going up from here? Well, we do have a MACD convergence here, of course. That's pretty standard for the situation. Normal, kind of all normal things here. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the moving averages. Once again, the 200-day set moving average is below the price action at about 46 cents. So that in itself is a positive. We just got to let that happen, right? So all good. Let that continue to be where it's at. That is fantastic in the overall sense of things. So generally speaking, we have like 3 out of 4 really positive indications here, minus the overextension at 70 on the RSI. But you got to keep in mind, if you can break through 70 on the RSI, it can oftentimes work as a support level and keep the price action going. We are still honoring this ascending trend, and we have been for some time. If I recall correctly, that ascending trend is concurrent with the 200-day set moving average on the 4-hour. See how that's kind of playing out? Again, it's not identical. It's not exactly the same. It never truly is. But a lot of times when you see moving averages working concurrent with ascending type of trends or descending trends, the trend is your friend. You've established the fact that we're on the way up, and the likelihood of further upside is greater than an actual downside retracement. Okay, so a lot of little things that you can kind of factor in here, but XRP is absolutely looking like it's primed for the pump and ready to kind of go. Now this is that cup and handle I was talking about. It's not definitive by any stretch because obviously it didn't come up this high, but you can kind of see how the price is retesting a key level resistance here, right at this area about 53/53.5. So if we can get a closure today around the current price point, a little more consolidation, I think the likelihood of the price action shooting through here is fairly high. Where is the volume at? I've got a little bit of volume extra here today, but not a tremendous amount. So nothing really to extract there. Let's look at the RSI here as well. We're also approaching 70. So when you see 70 on the RSI on both time frames, the 4-hour on the 1 day, it tells you a lot. And what I mean by that is just that we shouldn't expect the price to go up immediately until it can consolidate a little further. In other words, with this reattempting to break through that resistance level, one of two things will happen. It'll slowly dissipate, and that little push will decrease, or we'll see a sharp increase through that resistance area. Okay, so again, not to say we won't break to the upside, but it's a little less likely based on having 270s in the RSI. But here's something as a complementing factor. We got a pretty significant MACD convergence here as well, and I say significant because it isn't massive, right? Excuse me, but it is enough to notice, whereas the price action should be able to come up here and break through this little moving average. And what's going on the MACD, by the way, if you're not familiar, it's fairly straightforward. It's basically like golden crosses and death crosses all kind of in a very nice little channel. What I'm getting at is the blue line is the 12-day exponential moving average, and the orange is a 26. When the blue intersects in upward fashion, that essentially gives us a golden cross, and that allows for us to anticipate the price action going higher because the bears are losing control and the bulls are gaining control. All right, so we have that going on right now, and that's a positive sign. So again, everything on the charts, both on the 4-hour and the 1 day, are very positive, minus the overextension, which is that potential rejection off of 70. If we can break through 70 on the RSI on either time frame, I think we'll be looking pretty darn good. Looking at the 1 hour, you can see on TD sequential we did hit a 9 here recently, and we're in that fairly exhaustive state. It's not extremely overexhausted, but it is hitting that plateau. What I mean by that is, if you're familiar at all with TD sequential, it basically just takes the fourth previous candlestick and counts up to 9. So this candlestick, the fourth previous is lower, so it keeps counting up. So basically, we hit an 8 here previously, started to consolidate, came down to a 9, bounced off of that specific level at 0.508, basically 50.8 cents, and then came up to another 9, just below that key level resistance that I established previously, or showed that was established from summer of last year, and then of course broke through. So this is just kind of doing all the normal, awesome, excellent behaviors that you're used to seeing on coins that are overperforming, performing much better than Bitcoin. Okay, so if we take a look quickly, just a peek at Bitcoin, of course, Bitcoin has been doing moderately well recently. We got to recognize too that XRP is sort of following suit in a strange way. It's not identical, of course, it's doing better in the overall sense, but you can see that there's a retracement and, of course, an increase similar to what Bitcoin had done as well. So, drawing that connection, that correlation is important because, XRP is performing better than Bitcoin, but you got to recognize if Bitcoin sells off tomorrow to 18,800, we're going to see a pullback from XRP. So disclaimer, everything that we're looking at here today could be null and void if Bitcoin has a bad day. That's the way of the market. You got to recognize that. You got to get that in your head. It's not bad TA. It's just simply put the way that the market works right now. it'll probably always be that way. It would be nice to have Bitcoin kind of its own thing and alts do their own thing too, but there's a cycle because of Bitcoin dominance and just how that works. I'll cover Bitcoin dominance a little bit more in detail perhaps in another video, but generally speaking, when Bitcoin sells off, altcoins tend to rise, and the inverse applies too. And you got to recognize you can buy XRP with Bitcoin, so that's why the Bitcoin dominance decreasing increases value of XRP in some cases. All right, so the last thing we want to take a look at is Ichimoku Cloud. And this is really, really cool. This is kind of what I was mentioning yesterday should happen, right? Because of course you never truly know, but I was expecting the price to come down to bounce off 0.508, and it did. But more importantly, the main reason why I felt comfortable and confident thinking that is because of the fact that we had this price action here with the cloud. Okay, so the cloud, the upper lead and lower lead are essentially giving us that support level to push the price action further. We've also got the conversion line crossing over the baseline in the last couple of hours. That's important. And lagging span is free and clear price action. So we literally have 3 out of 3 green lights to take a long position right now. Would I take one right now at this exact moment? I might wait a little bit longer for confirmation. But again, I'm a patient trader and sometimes I wait too long. There's no doubt about that. So you got to recognize that there's a double-edged sword, right? You can, jumping in and jumping out can be beneficial depending on your trading style, but it's also helpful to wait in some cases too. So just recommend you be patient and learn to develop your risk tolerance and your risk management. Work within what works best for you. Everyone has different personality types, but generally speaking, this is looking like it's primed for the pump and ready to explode at any given time. Because once again, dang near every single time frame is giving us positive signs the price is going to go up, minus that resistance level at 70 on the RSI. That's the only thing kind of causing this to not be almost 100%. So that's where we're at here. I hope that you learned something today. Thank you so much for joining me. One last thing, I'm sorry, I just got to share this with you too, to kind of give you perspective on some of the signals that we're sending out too. While yes, it took us almost 7 days to hit this target, we took 116% profit on XRP. So I don't know if you know anyone else that's taking over 100% profit on anything in less than a week. And those are just things that are part of my signals as well. So if you want to benefit from that, those are auto-traded, and it's a really cool system in place. We use automated trading with Cornix, so it's all kind of built in. Anyways, check that out in your own time. I think it's kind of a cool feature that a lot of folks are unaware of. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much again. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.